Is Wild Strawberries a good Ingmar Bergman film, or is it too avant-garde? Find out today on Really Old Movies. Welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today I'll be discussing the Ingmar Bergman classic Wild Strawberries from 1957. Some essential movie details. Famed Swedish director Victor Sjöström, who directed The Phantom Carriage in 1921, and also He Who Gets Slapped from 1924, he stars in the role of Isaac Borg. Bergman was a huge fan of Sjöström's and his work, and he really wanted him to be in this film, and that's why he picked him. So the basic plot: Professor Isaac Borg reminisces on his life, from his failed first engagement to his current situation where his son is slowly becoming as cynical and cold as he is. He has various flashbacks that he uses to sort through and decides to become a better person, and he tries to reconnect with his son and his wife to help save their marriage. Alright, and so that's the plot. Now we'll get into my review itself. So the plot, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was good. I really liked it. I liked how the use of flashbacks was used to help Isaac sort out his life. It felt more realistic than most movies that have flashbacks or dream sequences. It shows him as an old man, as we see him in the movie, interacting with people around him or the different things he experienced many, many years ago. So it felt a lot more realistic than other movies you see with flashbacks. So I liked that. But other than that, it can be hard to follow at times. It has a lot of instances of avant-garde, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's very creative, don't get me wrong, but if you're looking for a really cohesive, easy to follow along plot, this is not that. This movie can be a little difficult to understand at times, but I liked it for the most part, which is why I gave it 4 out of 5. That's not a bad score. In regards to acting, 5 out of 5. Thought it was amazing. Sjöström was really good. You could tell he personally connected to this role since he himself was old at the time. He probably had his own mistakes and regrets he was thinking about while he was making this movie. And then the only actors that I thought were just okay, I thought the teenagers in the modern times, they were kind of annoying in my opinion. They were just okay. They weren't great. The actors who played his daughter-in-law was good. The actor who played his son was really good. So everyone else was good, but it was just the teenagers I had kind of a problem with. Other than that, though, it was fantastic. In regards to directing, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought Bergman is really good. I thought he did a great job at directing this. Like I said, it can be a little hard to follow sometimes, because I know he tries a lot to be more philosophical and thought-provoking, which, again, is fine. You know, movie is art, and art tends to lean towards that direction. This is not your typical narrative film, and so at times for me it was hard to follow along. But again, I liked it, so it wasn't terrible. I gave it a 4 out of 5. In regards to cinematography and special effects, I gave that a 5 out of 5. I loved it. Loved the camera work, especially in the dream sequence / flashback sequences. Really excellent. Really good. Because those scenes in particular, just the way that people were interacting with him, it felt different than the rest of the movie. It definitely felt like we were traveling back in time. So I really liked that. Really interesting. The different camera angles. You know, there's one scene I'm thinking of where he sees his wife cheating on him with another man, and he's just standing there, you know, looking dead inside. And he's an old man doing this, so I thought that was one of the best shots of the movie. All right, in regards to the music, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was good, really set the mood. No complaints about it at all. I thought it was great music. If there's anything, that's probably one of the highlights of this movie is the music. All right, so tallying that all up, that brings my Letterboxd score to a 4.4 out of 5, which I'll be rounding down to a 4 out of 5. So would I recommend this movie? Yes, I would. But like I mentioned, if you're not into avant-garde, kind of loose storyline and structure, you probably won't like this movie. It's definitely more of an artsy film, art house film. Definitely not your straight shooter action movie or anything like that. So keep that in mind. But other than that, I thought it was really good. And this is only the second one I've seen by him. The other movie I saw was Seventh Seal. And of the two, this one I related to more, but I could definitely, well, I like parts of Seventh Seal as well. So at the moment, I can't really decide which of the two I like more, but he's a great director. I'll keep watching more of those movies, but they're kind of melancholic, so you definitely have to be in the mood for that. So keep that in mind as well. All right. Well, those are my thoughts on Wild Strawberries from 1957. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Make sure to subscribe to our Instagram and Facebook at Really Old Movies, where I discuss details about the week's particular film. New podcast episodes are released Saturdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. All right, thank you so much. This has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin. Take care.